What's up, guys? Welcome back to Stuck on the Screen, where we watch movies and TV shows
and never miss a scene.
We got another one for you today. Today we got Squid Game, and we're excited to talk about it. There's so much to talk about, so much emotion from this show. So let's get straight into it. All right, so there's a lot of hype around this show.
There was, yeah.
I've watched it twice now. I freaking love it. And you took a little while to get started.
Yeah, it took me a while to get started. I didn't want to hop on the hype, but I watched the first episode and I was like, this show's going to give me too much anxiety. And then...
Yeah, I was, like, before the hype and before everyone started watching it, I just saw it pop up on my Netflix. And I turned it on and I was like, what the heck am I watching at first? I'm sure everyone had that experience when they first started because it starts kind of slow. But I mean, after that first episode, it's freaking crazy, and you just want to watch more, and you keep watching more. So I'm excited that she watched it, and we're so ready. So we have our main character Gi-hoon, and he's a little down in his luck. Ugh. He's betting on horses to make his money and stealing money from his mom, which is kind of messed up. But basically, the idea of all these Squid Game and the people that are getting together for this game is they're all like either people that owe money to different people or homeless people debt, or just in debt in general. And they're trying to like basically give them an opportunity to have a better life, to make some more money. But what they don't know is this opportunity. And when they say they're getting eliminated from the games, means they're getting eliminated from the damn games, from life. Because we have the first game they get into is red light, green light. Red light, green light. We've all played it as a kid. And the first guy, they're like kind of joking about it because it's a game, you know?
Yeah.
You're joking about it, and the guy moves after the lady says red light, and he gets shot, and everyone's doesn't know what to think at first because he just falls. They think he's playing around. But then once more people start getting shot, they all start freaking out, and they start running.
I don't understand. Like, you see that they're getting shot because they're moving, and then everybody just like ran to the door.
It's a tough situation because I obviously would be scared too.
Yeah, that's true.
You're fearing for your life at that point, but you do see everyone else dying, and there's a lot of people that died. Like over half the game, I think at that point just died. But it was pretty cool when Ali saved Gi-hoon.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, that was so stressful. Right
Super
there with the one
hand. Yeah.
Super straight. Yeah, so that first game was freaking crazy. And I thought it was going to be a lot of games that I recognized going into that because, like, I recognized red light, green light, but then you get into, like, the next game, which is the
honeycomb.
Yeah, the sugar honeycomb. And freaking Song-woo, man. Song-woo,
he's dirty.
I know. It's because, like, he knew what the game was. He figured it out. Rather than helping his team, the team he, like, actually gets along with and supposed to be finish the games together. He doesn't tell any of them, and he lets Gi-hoon choose the umbrella.
So the next game was tug of war, and I was gonna say how Duck-soo like was with that annoying girl, and then like just ditched her.
Yeah.
It was like
their whole relationship was weird.
Yeah.
And she called him old man.
She was so annoying. Like the whole time, whenever she started talking, I was like, I can't. Like, I was like getting irritated with her. I was like, and then I thought she was gonna die when she didn't have a teammate or like.
Yeah, and they just sent her back to the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, lucky her. I wouldn't have wanted to compete either. That's why when they were choosing teams for that whole thing, that's why the old man was like, no, I won't play. Because he obviously knew, since he created it all, he knew that the odd person out wouldn't have to compete. So obviously him being an old man, he was worried that his strength isn't there as much. So he wanted to be alone and get sent on to the next game. But then freaking Gi-hoon's friendship with him actually got him to choose him.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That whole relationship.
That tug of war anticipation though going up where he was coming up with the whole strategy.
Yeah.
Was freaking insane. And like it was so cool to see it play out and actually every step by step worked out.
Yeah. And then like connecting the dots afterwards, obviously, like he kept saying when I was younger. Mm-hmm. But like in reality, was it just because he witnessed it so many times and like you know?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, maybe he did. Maybe those games are all childhood games for him too.
That's true.
Because it was his childhood home later in the Marvel
episode. Yeah.
But the anticipation and where it left you, because remember the tug of war.
Episode.
The tug of war ended when Song-woo told him to step forward, and then they step forward and the episode ends.
Oh my god.
Right there, you automatically have to press play on the next episode.
Yeah.
Even if you're not ready to watch the next episode, you just watch that part.
To see what happens, because the anticipation was just too much.
Yeah. But their idea worked, and they survived, and the other people splat on the floor.
Yeah.
It's freaking horrible death.
Ugh. And then Duxu's face, or Duxu, whatever his name is, his face when they walked into the room was like...
Even when he saw the annoying girl, too.
Oh, yeah, his old lady.
But then we get into, the Marble episode?
Marble episode.
And by far the most emotional episode. You should have seen... I mean, it was sad for me. But Destiny sent me a picture of her while watching this episode. And her eyes were, like, swollen. She was crying so much. She still had tears in her eyes.
I was literally... sobbing, like hysterically. I could not, like, I just couldn't stop crying. It was so emotional. Like, just like even like
the worst part. I mean, there's two really horrible parts. The third one's whatever. But the worst part is Song-woo freaking betraying Ali and the way he did it, where he switched the marbles with the rocks. And Ali just had so much trust in Song-woo, their friendship at this point.
Yeah.
And he just did him super dirty.
I think that's what started my emotional roller coaster, was just like witnessing that, and then knowing that Ali had a kid and, like, you know, sent his wife and his kid home basically, and was like, don't like worry about me, I'm gonna get there.
And he won fair and square.
Yeah.
Realistically.
Yeah, he did.
He did. He had 9 marbles. He just needed the last one or whatever. Or no, he won the last one, huh?
He did win it, but he told him not to give it to him.
Yeah. So that, like she said, started the emotional roller coaster. And then we got, Subayok? Whatever. Sebayok and the other girl, I forget her name.
Yeah.
But
that was like a relationship that I didn't really
because it just started, yeah.
Yeah, but you know, when
the way she did it was emotional though.
Yeah, for her to be like, I don't have anything, you have, you know, your brother.
And she was like, let's throw the marble closest to the wall. Whoever gets closest, that's the winner.
Yeah, and then how she kept saying like, oh, take me with you, or like.
Yeah, because she was talking about their life on the outside already, as if they were going to be friends. Unfortunately, that's not how the games work.
Yeah.
But she just dropped her marble for Sebayok. I don't know.
I had a feeling she was going to do it too. I was like, she's like, there's no way.
So, the old man and Gi-hoon become Ganbu. And pretty much it just means, like, best friends to a point.
They share everything.
Yeah. And then right after they become Ganbu, they figure out that they have to play against each other in the Marvel episode.
Yeah. Which I don't understand, because if the old man was the creator of it, wouldn't he have known?
Yeah. That's maybe probably why he didn't want to get partnered with him.
True. And then he was stalling, like...
Yeah. And he was acting crazy, and just Gi-hoon was taking advantage of him because he pretty much has, like, memory loss to a certain degree.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like he did that purposely, though, that one time. Like, the old man. I feel like he purposely was like, what was that?
Yeah. He did do it purposely.
Yeah?
Yeah, he was doing it purposely the entire time. And then that's why once they get towards the end, he was like, oh, but you take advantage of your friends.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, how does it feel, like, you taking advantage of your friends? Now you know, whatever. But he gave him the last marble, and you see Gi-hoon walking away, and you hear the gunshot. And the old man's dead, and Destiny was crying.
I couldn't stop. But honestly, like, I didn't know.
She's about to start crying out. See it in her eyes. Well, the crazy thing about this, the 3 emotional deaths, was the girl is the only one you saw die.
Yeah, that's true.
Ali, you didn't see get shot, and the old man.
I feel like if I would have seen them, no, I think you. No, you didn't. If I would have seen Ali get shot, I wouldn't have been able to control myself.
Ali was just because he was taken advantage of so much.
Yeah.
And that's the super emotional part, because he's a really good guy.
Yeah, he was so genuine.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's the saddest episode for sure. So yeah, we get into the next episode, which is the hopscotch on the glass. And this is the one where the VIPs have come in already.
Yeah.
And that whole weird situation where that VIP was in love with
The
cop. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And then he took him to the room and wanted all that weird fat man stuff.
Yeah, that was when. Okay, first of all, when he took his robe off, I was like, "That ain't it."
You thought he was looking good or what?
No. I was like, "Oh heck no!" Like I didn't know what was gonna happen, and then he was like, "Satisfy me in 5 minutes, and I'll change your life." And then he was like, "Satisfy me in 5 minutes, and I'll save your life." I was like, "Dang!" I was all hype.
But we get into them choosing their vest and which order they're gonna go in, and they don't know what game it is, obviously.
Yeah.
But it gets pretty crazy, and Gi-hoon actually gets the last number, and turns out that's honestly the best number because everyone else has already jumped before you. But during the game, there's people that like stall, and then they're like, "No, I'm not gonna move." Even the
Doksu.
Yeah, Doksu. He was like, "Yeah, you guys can go ahead of me, but I'm not gonna jump." Then the freaking crazy girl.
Oh my gosh.
She followed through on her promise. If you betray me, you're gonna die.
I'm gonna kill us both if you betray me.
Jumped off together. Well,
first of all, she got like supersonic strength because she was like holding him.
I know.
And was just like standing there and then just like leaned back, like.
Yeah.
Oh. The power.
And then we have the guy that makes glass, or he made glass in the past.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Hey, do you have anything I could throw?" And then they freaking they turn off the lights because he knows how to do
they
it.
realized that he knew.
Which is, it kind of sucks because more people could have survived, but.
Well, I mean, it was the 4 of them. Well, I mean, he could have spoken up like.
Yeah.
When it started, yeah, that's true.
At the end though, you just got Gi-hoon, Sangwoo, and Sebayok.
Sebayok, yeah.
I don't know how to say her name. So while it's just them 3 on the hopscotch thing at the end of it, the freaking glass shatters.
Oh yeah.
And you get the slow motion of them getting cut.
Yeah, they all like got cut on the face, huh?
Yeah. That was pretty crazy scene to see.
Yeah, it was intense. I was like, oh my gosh.
Freaking, what's her name? Sebayok got stabbed in the freaking stomach.
When they went to change for their dinner, and I seen it, and I was like, oh my god, no. She's either going to be too weak to play in the next game, and she's going to die, or she's going to die before the next game.
Speaking of that dinner, I would have went all in. Like,
I know.
It looked so good after everything they had eaten, like the eggs and everything like that.
Yeah, 1 egg.
But yeah, Sebayok, I don't know how to say her name. Sorry. She gets stabbed by Sangwoo, and then we get into the final. Sangwoo and Gi-hoon, and they play Squid Game finally, and it gets kind of like they start like actually fighting, like fist fighting, and then it starts raining, and it's just so chaotic and so much going on. But Gi-hoon's gonna win the battle.
Yeah, he's gonna win, and then first of all, Sebayok saved Sangwoo's life. Like, she told Gi-hoon not to kill him because he was gonna kill him in his sleep, and then she's like, "That's not you." Like, and then he goes and kills her. So Gi-hoon had all this like anger because Sangwoo killed a lot of these people. Like, even on the hopscotch game,
he was pushing people off.
Yeah. So I feel like Gi-hoon had all this anger built up for Sangwoo, even though that was like his childhood friend and like they grew up together. So it was just so intense how like their fight at the end, like it came down to them too. And
realistically, Gi-hoon was gonna win the fight. He was gonna walk past the line, and if he walked past the line, then the Squid Game, this guy was gonna shoot him, and he stopped before he got to the line, and he made the dumbest decision because after everything, like she said, Gi-hoon made a lot of sacrifices and killed a lot of people to get there, so he should have just walked and let him die. But he was like, "We both want to forfeit," and thank goodness Sangwoo killed himself. Because I would have been pissed if that's how it ended.
I literally would have been like, that was all for nothing. Because now you're not going to get anything. All the people who died are going to get, like, their families are going to get the money. But
yeah, speaking of after the games, we finally get into Gi-hoon escaping. He has all this money, and he goes to see his mom. And his mom is laying there on the floor, and she's dead. And then you get into another emotional. Destiny probably cried at that part. Who knows?
I mean, I cry at everything, honestly.
But yeah, so that sucked. But then you find out that freaking Gi-hoon doesn't even use the money. Like, he's a homeless man, pretty much, and he still lives the same way he lived before. and his daughter's gone.
And
he gets a card.
Yeah, he's sitting there, like, on the side of the freeway or something, like, side of a bridge.
Mm-hmm.
And this lady, like, comes up to him. This lady asks him if he wants to buy her flowers. And he ends up buying them all, and she gives him a card. Or, like, he gets a card.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of the Squid Game cards. So, first of all, when I seen it, I was like, oh, no. Something's going to happen. But then it's, like, a time and a place, and it says, from your Gambu or something like that. So I was like, oh my gosh, my heart. Like, the sense of relief, but also, like, how was like, ugh.
Because you find out that he's alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, essentially. So he pulls up to the spot. He goes and you find the old man on the, like, pretty much his deathbed at that point.
Yeah.
But he's, like, in a hospital bed. And he's, like, talking to him. And he's trying to figure out, like, why he did all this and stuff like that. And the old man's like, let's play one more game.
I know. Oh my gosh.
So what I heard with this one more game was that it's also a test to see that Gi-hun is just like him. Because you know how Gi-hun's supposed to be the one who's against all this, playing with people's lives and stuff like that. Well, what they were doing, Il-nam and Gi-hun were watching that homeless man and going to see if he was going to die. Or if anyone was going to help him. So that was Gi-hun, again, playing with someone's life. So Il-nam was pretty much like testing him. He's like, oh, you play with people's lives too. Like, you're willing to play with people's lives.
Dang.
Yeah, so that's what it was. And realistically, because he never said that Gi-hun can't go out there and help him.
That's true.
Yeah, so Gi-hun was sitting right there playing with that man's life.
Yeah.
You know?
That's crazy.
I know. So I think he pretty much wants Gi-hun to replace him. That's what I was getting at. But yeah, so then you see that lady walk by, or is it a man? I forget. But they go and call the cops, and they help the guy, and then the old man dies.
Yeah.
The old man inside, but that guy lives.
His second death, I didn't cry. But his first death, I did.
Yeah. So then we get into the rest of his life, and Gi-hun's actually about to use some of his money. He looks good. He dyes his hair pink. I don't know why he does that.
Yeah. Well, was it red? Wasn't it
red or pink?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't
apparently,
know.
I'm colorblind a little bit because I thought they were wearing pink the whole time. Turns out it's red.
I'm dead.
Yeah, but it looks pink to me.
Kind of, yeah. So then Gi-hun, I guess, comes to realization like that he has all this money because he wasn't using it, and he goes and finds Sebeok's brother, and he gets him out of the foster home that he's in, and then he takes him to Sang-woo's mom, which was unexpected, but a perfect setup at the same time.
Because she wanted someone else to like watch over, and he
Yeah.
needed someone to watch over him.
Yeah. So
But you get into like this weird part where he leaves her the suitcase, and she's like, "Let's get you a sweater." Then she opens it, and it's just a ton of money.
yeah, but I mean, I guess it does set up both of them, you know.
Yeah, and it's good that Gi-hun actually thought of Sang-woo's mom and both Sebeok's whatever
His brother. Yeah, that's true.
Followed through on his promise. We also get Gi-hun finally going to see his daughter.
In
So
LA,
bought a whole plane
yeah.
ticket to LA, and as he's going on the train, he sees that they're setting up the Squid Games again. He sees that same guy that got him getting another guy, and he stops it and he gets the card from that guy, and this idiot freaking calls the card, and while he's getting on the plane, instead of getting on the damn plane, he's like, "I'll be there." And
he turns
he's
away.
like, he's like, "Don't do it, Gi-hun," whatever. And he's like, "I'm gonna be there." Yeah. And then he turns away, and that's the show. And it's setting up a season 2. And this idiot's not gonna go see his daughter. He's gonna go risk dying again.
But I don't get it.
I know, it's so stupid. Also, did you know? You probably didn't, but the whole time they're playing the games on the wall, it shows
The games were on the
Yeah,
wall.
it shows
Yeah, I did notice that. That's what
each
I was.
game.
Yeah, I was like, did they add it after? But I did notice that the games were on the wall.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
could have just checked there the whole time. I feel like that's something you should have noticed, especially once they start clearing out the beds.
All the beds. Yeah, that's
You
true.
can see it, but they didn't notice it. But anyways, it was a freaking entertaining show.
Yeah.
It's probably a 9.5 out of 10 for me. It's almost perfect. Besides that ending, I like every episode I wanted more, and I'm so happy with it. I watched it twice. Like literally right after I finished watching it, I watched it again. It's so good. I can't recommend it enough. 9.5 out of 10 for me.
Dang, I don't know what I would rate it, because the intensity, the anxiety and anticipation and emotion, it just like brought all of that together, which I guess is a good thing, because you know when you're watching something you want to feel, so like you want to have emotion towards it, but typically I don't watch things like that, like like high intensity or like things that'll cause me anxiety, because I like sit on it and think about it all the time. But I mean, it was a good show. I don't know what I would rate it. Maybe like an 8.5, 9-ish, because it did have a good storyline. You know, it was in depth and detail. Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely, I mean, that's a high rating from both of us, so you definitely got to check it out if you haven't already. I mean, if you haven't already, why are you watching this? But but we appreciate you hanging out with us talking about it. If you like this video and you want to see more of us talking about other things, make sure you check out the videos on your right here. And like, subscribe, comment, share, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Stuck on the Screen. Out.